Do you have plans to own real estate and you've been thinking, what next after the purchase? Or you have purchased and you're not even sure you did the right thing after? If this is you, then stick with me, because in this video, I'll be sharing two very important things to do after a real estate purchase. Welcome to Easy Real Estate with Abiola, where I educate you on real estate investing, do and don't, so you don't get your fingers burnt. My name is Abiola Fadahunsi. I help real estate investors locate genuine properties at the right place, price, and terms so that they can make maximum returns on their investment within the shortest time possible. Okay, so for those of you watching on YouTube, do well to subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss out on educative weekly videos. Okay, and for everyone watching on any other platform, do well to like and share this video too. All right, and in the course of this live stream, or even if you're watching the replay, as I share, if you have any question, please ask by dropping your question in the comments box and I'll respond to it. So let's get right into it. I know there are different things, or you've heard different things, a lot of things you should do even before you should buy real estate. But the same way there are things, important things you should do before you buy real estate, there are also important things you should do after you purchase one. And I'll be sharing with you two major ones, the two very important ones you really need to do in this video. So the first one is you need to take possession. You need to take possession of that real estate. You need to take possession. And I wonder why anyone, actually, and I'll stay a bit on this because I've seen a whole lot of people make mistakes, and I wonder why you would do that to yourself, because I consider it torture, especially for those that buy a building. I wonder why you would pay completely for a building you can't take possession of. Like, you can't, you don't have access to it. You can't move in immediately if you want to. Now, I'm talking about a completed building. I'm not talking about a building that is still under construction for those that invested in off-plan sales. No. Okay, so let me give you an example. I was speaking with, I was having a conversation with a lawyer, I think about a year or 2 years ago, and he was telling me the situation about his clients, one of his clients that bought a property. So this guy bought a building, and as at that time he was talking to me, it was 6 months gone, and the person that bought the building has been having challenges taking possession of that particular building. So what happened? This was what happened. When he wanted to buy, he bought from this very old man. The old man posed as the owner of the property. He's actually the owner of the property, but the guy is a very dubious guy. So while he was inspecting and all of that, he said, but the thing is, this guy saw a red flag, but he didn't take it serious. And maybe I wouldn't blame him, because maybe he's not used to buying properties and all of those things, or I wouldn't call it greed, although as at the time he made the purchase, the market value of the property, of properties within that range and around that area, is 40 million. But this guy was getting an offer for 30 million. Okay, so when he wanted to go for inspection, this old man told him, see, you would come and you would pose as a NEPA guy, like you just want to check, because I think in that they had some issues with their electric connection. So you pose as a NEPA guy while we check around. And he said, he asked him why. He said, okay, that the reason why I told you to pose as a NEPA guy is, for those who don't know NEPA, okay, like PHCN, because I might have people watching and they're wondering what's NEPA, okay? So he told him to pose as, you know, someone that just came to check electrical issues, so he can see how the building is, how the rooms are, and all of that. So apparently, when he asked why, this was the excuse he was given, that his brother lives in the next building, and his brother has always wanted to buy that property from him. The brother even told him that when you want to sell, I would be glad to buy. And he says he doesn't want to sell to his brother because his brother is proud and arrogant. His brother hasn't helped him so much in his life, you know, all those, just so he felt that. And that's why they didn't even put for sale, because he knows if his brother is aware he wants to sell, he would offer him any amount he wants, but he doesn't want to sell to his brother. And I'm wondering, how as in, so apparently told him to post as a NEPA guy. So he came, and another red flag was when he got there, there were tenants in the building, I think about 4 or 5 flats. There were people living in, and these people were not even looking like they were going to leave anytime soon. And he said he asked him why again, that why are people here? And he told them that, and they are aware. It's just that he just gave them the liberty. They are aware. They've signed contracts. They are going to leave. They know he wants to sell the building. But if they leave now, his brother will be suspicious. Even people in the neighborhood will be suspicious, and doesn't want them to know he wants to sell. And so this guy felt, okay, that's good enough excuse, because and he felt okay, was getting a good deal. So instead of paying normal 40 million, he was paying 30 million. So he went, he did the inspection, you know, he didn't, you know, the conversation wasn't loud. So it just came like, oh, he was checking wires and all that. And I was wondering, how would you even do that to yourself? Who should carry placard on your head? Hey, I'm about to buy this property, if not you, right? If not you, how would you go there? You're about to drop 30 million. 30 million is not something you will pick on the floor of Lagos State too, okay? And you are there posing as a NEPA guy. I don't know this guy anyways, but I wish I met him. Like, there are some questions I just want to ask him, that, okay, excuse me, sir, were you jazzed? Did this guy put something in his mouth? Because but I find out that these mistakes, they happen. Like, people do, there are some things people take with levity, especially when investing in property, and it should not be so, because property is capital intensive. You can't afford to lose money or make simple mistakes that will make you lose money. So I was telling the lawyer, I said, who is supposed to carry a placard on his head and write, I'm about to buy this property, if not this guy? Or probably just even wear a customized shirt, like, okay, you can't see what's written on my shirt. Wear a customized shirt saying, I'm about to buy this property. In fact, I won't just say I'm about to buy this house, because it can mean any other house. I'll put it on my shirt, I'm about to buy this. If the color of the house is green, I'm about to buy this green house with brown gates on number 12, so streets. So that when people see me and they know something is wrong, or you know that property is actually not up for sale, or there's a dicey situation, they can let me know. Like, you shouldn't even go inspect a property and start doing undercover mission. For what? Are they giving you for free? Is it not your money you want to pay? But apparently, the guy paid for this property, all for him to find out that, you know, after he paid, this man took the money, he left. And okay, it was time to take possession. They signed all of those documents, and this guy was having a tough time. Why? Because these tenants were not aware the man wanted to sell the property, and apparently, they still had their rent money running. In fact, the man just collected, before he sold, I think 3 months before he sold to this guy, he had collected rent for 2 years. 2 years from a tenant that was living in. So how do you want people to move out? How do you even want to deal with? So for 6 months, at that time when I was speaking with the lawyer, it was 6 months gone already. So meaning he has wasted 6 months of possible rental income. He has wasted 6 months of resources. Okay? And it's not even the rental income, the stress. They're having to go back and forth, having to maybe involve a lawyer, going to court, having to deal with people. And you know, for me, I tell people most of the time, I'd rather avoid, you know, going through any of this. I'd rather not even buy than go through stress, right? I want to invest in real estate. I want to I want to be able to afford the kind of lifestyle I want in future. I want to, you know, I want to edge against inflation and all of that. And I'm stressing my life out. And I'm buying property and I'm having challenges, having to get people to move out, or having challenges taking possession. I said, even if he felt, okay, this is a good deal, they could have had an agreement such that maybe, okay, to show he's serious after he has confirmed every other thing, you could have paid a particular sum, maybe as down payment, and still have a binding agreement with that. Then make sure those guys move out first. Make sure it's the responsibility of the seller to clear the property for you to have easy access, to take possession easily, rather than you pay and you now stress your life out having to take possession. Because really, why are you buying real estate when you can't take possession of the property? And that's even for buildings, okay? And there was, I explained this term, local intel. Okay, I'm sure if this guy had an idea of what local intel is, he wouldn't have made that mistake, because I explained local intel. And if you don't understand the term, or you don't know the meaning of local intel, it's on my YouTube channel. Just go to my YouTube channel, Abiola Fadahunsi, then watch what local intel means. Because if this guy knew what there's something called local intel, he would have, even if the guy has said these guys come as a NEPA guy and all of that, he would have gone back to the vicinity later to ask questions, even to speak to people in that same building, the tenants. Oh, I heard your landlord said he's selling, and he said you guys have an agreement. There and there, they could have told him, no, we are not aware he's selling. Maybe we just paid rent. Our rent is still running. So you have to deal with all of that stress. And I've seen different cases like that, where people buy property and it's stressful. It's draining, like it drains life out of your bones to take possession. So you want to make sure you are even buying a property you can take possession of immediately. Okay, you don't want to do that disservice to yourself. You don't want to go through that stress of you've worked hard for your money, you think you are doing the right thing, they are now confronted with a big devil right in front of you because you can't take possession. And that's even just for buildings. Okay, so I've said a couple of lessons in this video. Take possession easily. So when you know you want to buy a property that you can't take possession of, you can't take the possession easily, you won't even go ahead, or you will make sure all of that trouble is sorted. It shouldn't be you, the buyer, that is going through the stress of having to evict tenants or evict people out of the house you just bought before you can take possession. So the guy wanted to use it as a means of rental income. So he has lost 6 months, and I didn't even know how they eventually resolved it. But that day, one of the guys that we were there together said, tell him to go and remove the roof. Once he removes the roof, maybe they will move out. But I know it's not going to be an easy one. Because see, another thing is, most people go diabolical when it comes to things like this. And I've even had cases of people buying property, and you hear, oh, I know I bought the property, but I can't even remember. And the thing is, if you don't have the Spirit of God, it can happen to you. You will put your money in a property, and before you know it, you've forgotten about it. Years later, you won't even remember. So one needs to be careful. You need to check out for the red flags, and you don't want to stress your life because you want to invest in real estate. So check all these things. So if you know you can't possess it immediately, there's no point buying it. Make sure it's easy for you to possess, okay? And once it's easy for you to possess, once you buy, take possession. Take possession of the property, okay? And that's for building. So for land, how you take possession for land is, if it is a bare land, what you do is you fence it immediately. You fence your property. I know I've heard people say that it's safer, and I agree to, when you buy in an estate than when you buy just from an individual or from a monile, you know, when it comes to fencing. But I'll still advise you, even if you buy in an estate, still fence it when you can, if you have the capacity to do so immediately. But if you don't have the capacity to do so immediately, have it in mind that you are going to fence this property. Plan towards it, fence it, because even if it is in an estate, there is a level, yes, it's quite secured because it's in an estate and all of that. But what if the person beside you has stealing in his or her blood and goes ahead to, you know, encroach with maybe few meters into your own property, maybe when he or she was fencing, even when there are boundaries, maybe when he or she was fencing, it just goes ahead to, you know, fence part of your own square meters into his own land. You now come, maybe later, then start throwing tantrums, making noise. You took out of my land, but you can save yourself all of that stress if you are fenced as soon as you bought the land, right? So, because even if you have the fear of God, you know you can't steal another person's land. Not everybody has the fear of God. Not everybody will feel it's a bad thing to encroach. Okay, so you want to save yourself all the headache of having to shout, my land is 600 square meters, now it's 570. Save yourself the stress. Fence your land, whether it's in an estate or it's not in an estate. And good for you if you are buying a fenced land, good for you. Just change the keys, change the padlock, and go and throw it somewhere inside, maybe the box where you keep your Christmas clothes, or wherever you think is safe. Okay, and if it's a bare land that is not fenced, fence it, put your gates, lock it up, and leave it. Okay, just take possession, establish presence on that property. Yeah, so I'm sure you understand that, and it's very clear. So both for land or for building, take possession of a property. So a property, you know, once you're about to buy, you know you can't take possession immediately. Don't stress yourself. Don't stress your life. Don't do yourself. Don't torture yourself, because it can be draining not just financially, it can be draining emotionally, mentally, everythingly, even spiritually, because when you get to do, don't let me go into that, okay? So number 2, the second thing you must do immediately is to perfect your title. Perfect your title. And perfection of title is like a full topic on its own entirely, and I will do a video on that as well. But perfect your title, get your deed of assignment, go register it. Perfection of title is basically entails 3 things: the stamping, the registering, and the obtaining of a governor's consent. So basically, when you perfect your title, the highest authority in the state is aware that property it has changed hands, is now your own. That's the explanation in layman terms, okay? If I don't want to confuse you by telling you the whole, but I will do a video on the process of perfecting title later, okay? Just make sure you stick to this channel. If you're watching on YouTube, or you just stick to my page or wherever it is you're watching on, okay? So I'll do a video on that later. But perfect your title, because if you don't register your deed, or you don't perfect your title, basically your interest in that property is in equity alone, and it's not legal. It's in equity alone. So when you find someone else that has legal right over that property, when you go to court, it will be a tough one for you. It will be tough for you to win that battle, okay? So you want to perfect your deed. So those are the 2 very important things you need to do after a property purchase, and I hope this is clear enough. Do I have any questions? Okay, I don't think I have any questions yet. So okay, so that is it. If you're watching the replay, if you have questions like I mentioned earlier, make sure you ask them. I would respond to them. Just drop them in the comment section. And if you have any real estate topic you want me to clarify, or you want me to discuss, you can send me an email. Send an email with the topics or what you want me to share, to talk about, to contact@abiolafadahunsi.com. That's my name. Contact at my website, abiolafadahunsi.com. And yes, I have a free book. I've made it free, that I think you should have and you should read. It will help you, especially when you're starting, when you plan buying real estate, or you've even started buying. It will open your eyes to see probably the mistakes you've seen in the past. And it's an investor's guide. It's the first one that I titled 5 things to look out for before investing in real estate in Lagos. So even though I put Lagos, the things in that book, you will learn from that book, is applicable as well when you want to buy real estate anywhere in Nigeria. Is pretty much the same thing, maybe just a little bit of terms difference in terms here and there, but it's pretty much the same thing. So you should download that. On YouTube, I'll add the link to the description of this video. On every other platform, if it's on my social media account, the link is on my profile just beneath my bio. So just click on the link, you'll see the link to my website. Download the free ebook there, and you'll be thankful for it. I'm sure when you read it, you would even send me emails thanking me. Okay, and if you're watching on YouTube and you've not subscribed, please subscribe now. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out. And yes, I'm sure you've gotten value from this video. I'm sure you've gotten value. Don't keep it to yourself. Share with your family, share with your loved ones. Don't let them fall victim, don't let them make mistakes, okay? Share with them. And you can as well follow me on my social media accounts. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and yes, I'm on YouTube. Okay, so subscribe to my channel. It's Abiola Fadahunsi, just my name, and turn on the notification bell. So if there are no questions, which I don't think I have, this is where I'll call it a day on today's Easy Real Estate with Abiola. Till I see you again next time, it's bye for now. Bye.